friends, it's Lindsay with So Fancy. Hope you're having a great day. Give me just a second. I'm going to set up comments. And of course, if you can hear me, if this is all set up okay, then just go ahead and give me a like or a heart, or say hey where you're watching from, so I know that there is someone out there. Because I'm going to set up comments so I can see them. I've been having trouble seeing them live, like as they come in. So let me try this. But anyway, we have a lot for you today. So super exciting. We were doing a project, of course, using the Fall Farmhouse Bundle. A collection of just these gorgeous fall farmhouse designs that, lots of different things you can do. Today we're making a sign. But in the description you'll see lots of different links, because we've got lots of different things going on. So remember, we still are doing the Cameo 4 giveaway. So buy one of our bundles and you get entered to win a Cameo 4. Isn't exciting? And then of course, if you buy more than one bundle, you get more entries. So take a look at what we have to offer. Today is also the last day of 20% off our social distancing, quarantine, type of designs. So I have that linked in the description to that collection, because you need to use the coupon code SOCIALD. And let's see, what else? And yes, that's what we got going on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down so you can see what we're working on. So give me just a second. I'll refresh my screen so I can see comments. I don't know. There it is. Oh, wait, here we go. Hi, Mike, Blaine, Dustin, Matt. Oh my gosh. I think, sorry guys, my husband might have told his work again about my live today. So we have some fabulous guests with us. Sorry, let's twist this around. So look, we're working on round signs. So I have seen these all over the crafting world, these wood signs, or these round wood signs. They're like so popular right now. And so of course I was like super inspired to try this. And it's actually not as intimidating as you would think. So I'll share some tips with what I did. Okay, so actually I just was inspired by this recently. So this is actually not one of those wooden rounds that you can get at like the hardware store. This is actually an IKEA Lazy Susan that I just took apart. And I originally had the idea of using it for a different project, but I didn't. And so then, of course, when I wanted to do this round sign, I was like, this is perfect. So obviously you would probably do something better, maybe stain the back. But just for this, tutorial or live today, I just did the front. And so what I did is I started with just taping off this part, the top and the bottom. So I taped it off there, and I taped it off there. And this is just like a low tack, easy release painter's tape, which worked really, really well. And then I stained it on the top and the bottom with some gel stain. And then I used white paint here, just some white chalk paint here. So after that was stained, I taped it off there and there so I could paint the white. And then when that was dry, I did the strip of the gray. All right, and then of course, I don't think I have it with me, but I sprayed it with a clear acrylic coating because that is what's going to help me get the vinyl to stick to the wooden sign. So if you've ever had problems with, your vinyl decal sticking to your wooden painted signs, try spraying it with a coat of clear acrylic. Which I'm sorry, I wish I had that with me right now, but I think I left it outside because I was, oh hi Sandra! I was spraying it last night. So, anyway, let's get to, oops, sorry. There we go. Okay, so, we've got this sign. So, I created this in Silhouette Studio, just to kind of give me like a mock-up of what this was going to look like, and this is just supposed to represent a bow. But anyway, this gather is what I want to cut out. So, I'm going to put all this off to the side. And you can see that it is bigger than the mat. So I need to actually change to a matless cutting. And it's even wider than what I can cut with the regular cameo. Now if I had the plus, the 15-incher, I could totally cut this just as it is that way. But since I just have the 12-incher, I'm going to flip it and flip it 90 degrees and then change my, let's just go 12 to 24. There we go. Change my page size. So then let's go ahead and go back to our webcam so you can see how I'm going to set up my cameo for matless cutting. So let's get this guy in here, and there is the roll feeder down in here. But I'll use it. So it's adjustable there. And then you feed it in here. And then you do need to adjust this roll, or this is what holds the material in. So I'm going to open that, or use the lever to lift it up and then switch it. So it's in farther, and then I'm going to load this in. Actually, and it's a little tight, so I'm going to make sure that it's going to roll okay. So that, there we go. Alright. There we go. And then I will, put it in, and it kind of went a little, sorry. I know that looks a little weird. Okay. It went a little crooked, so I'm going to straighten this out. And I'm going to feed in a little bit more just to give me a little bit of a margin of error, because I would hate for it to slip. Okay, so then this is now detecting my Cameo 4. So it says unavailable, but there we go. Alright. Now it knows it's in there, and it's I'm using the auto blade, and in the Cameo 4 you've got that auto detection. So give it just a second while it's talking, and it will detect that I have the auto blade in there. But you can see that I have my cut lines. This red around it those are your cut lines. And so that is what's going to be cutting out. And so everything looks fine. And then, there we go, finally. Okay, so we are most definitely not using heat transfer flocked. That would probably cut like straight through the backing, which we don't want to do. We want to use vinyl glossy, but I am actually going to adjust these settings because I'm going to go up to a 2 and a 14 and do a test cut. So I'm just going to test cut there. just to make sure that it isn't cut all the way through. We'll go back to there. Alright, so I'm going to take it out and test cut right there. And so then I am going to see if the box weeds out nicely and it leaves behind the triangle. Then you know that you have a good cut. Ah, and it did. See? Look how easy that came out. All right, perfect. So I know these cut settings are good, and it didn't cut through the backing. All right, so benefit of test cutting is, of course, if this didn't cut through, I could adjust it and continue adjusting it and doing a test cut so that I would not be wasting my material. So let's go ahead and send to cut. And then that's going to do its thing. And let me go back to comments, see if there are any comments here. I realize I have to refresh the screen each time. Oh, hi Kimberly. Please several times. Kimberly says it took me several times to figure out to feed it through that hole. Yeah, I know. I was running it over the top as well. And then, I don't know, it just kind of hit me one day, but I was like, I think that's what this is for. And this is probably supposed to go back. I'm not going to touch it. Alrighty, so, thank you all for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we are making these super popular wooden signs. We're going to do a vinyl decal right over here. So I've already painted and stained the wooden round. And the design that we're using comes from the Fall Farmhouse Bundle. And of course I have that linked in the description, and reminder that whenever you buy a bundle from CRAFTY during the month of August, you are entered to win a cameo board. So you can get this machine right here. And of course, you can be entered to win more than once, and if by buying more than one bundle. So, alright, so this should actually be okay. I'm still going to test weed it just to make sure, but it should be fine because we already yeah, we did. See, that came out really nicely. Okay, so then I'm going to take that out, and then it just folds up and pushes in like that, and then we can push that off to the side. And then this is how I trim my vinyl. I like to use a paper trimmer. The only trick is making sure that you don't cut off your design. So it's probably hard. You can kind of see it on camera here. So you just have to make sure that you're not cutting off any part of it. So I'm going to actually move it over a little bit. And then this will cut just like that, and then I'll put the roll away. And then I can't fit it this way, so I think what I'll do is, because I like those nice straight lines, you could just use scissors to cut this, but I'm actually going to use this because I know there are some crafters out there who like nice straight lines too. So it seems a little crazy, but I'm going to use a craft knife and a straight edge ruler. Make sure you're working on a self-healing mat, and then that will be a nice straight piece for you. And actually, I think it does help when you're going to center things up if you do have a nice squared off rectangle. So I'll even actually take off this piece so I can save this bit of vinyl too. Okay. And then we're going to go and weed out our innards. I do the innards first. Yeah? Okay. I hear my husband calling me from the other room. Okay, so we're going to do the innards first. And look how easy this is weeding. Oops, that part needs to come off. And I adjusted, the default settings I think are just, I don't know, they're a good starting point, but you really ideally want the weeding to go as smoothly as possible. So if the default settings are just not cutting it so that you can just, you know, grab that little piece and go, then oops, up the force first and then the blade depth. And I will actually, after the live, I will link to a tutorial that Melissa wrote over on the Silhouette School blog. Oops, I'm going fast, but then like little bits get stuck to it, so just be careful of that. Vinyl getting stuck on other pieces of vinyl. Alright, so do we have any wooden round sign makers here watching? Because seriously, I have seen so many of these that I'm like, I have to try this. Okay, so then I like to then go in and take out these little bits here. Let's actually cut it or whip it. Then go ahead and pull that out. Oops. Alrighty, there we go. And then I'm just going to work my way around. Oops, I missed one little innard piece right there. So I'll go back and grab that guy. In just a second, that part isn't lifting up, so I'm going to just help it along. And there we go. Perfect. Let's just get this part. Very, very good. Okay, let me refresh the screen again because that's the only way I've been able to see comments. It's kind of frustrating. Hi, Diana from California. I'm in Northern California. I think it's going to be another hot one today. So it does seem a little funny working on fall crafts, but I think I'm ready for it. Alright, so now we're going to apply our transfer tape. And this is rolling up, which is going to give me some issues. So I'm going to just stick it on an old mat so that I don't run into that issue. And I am just going to cut that here. And I am using Oracle 651. So I have linked to that in the description as well. And then because this is wider than I need it to be, I'm going to cut off this bottom part. And then you can save this. I could probably wrap it around, I could probably wrap it back around this, huh? Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put it on a piece of parchment paper, but I'm going to try this and just wrap it back around. So I can save it for another project. Okay, well, we'll come back to that. Okay, so then I'm going to apply my transfer tape over the decal. And I like to work by first putting a little bit of the transfer tape onto the edge of my work surface. So I can take my big scraper. The brand of this is Speedball. And then I can take this big scraper and I can press it across all in one go with nice tension so that the transfer tape goes on as smooth as possible. And I got a little extra piece there, so I'll just cut that off. But then I'm going to burnish it down really well with my scraper. I'll burnish it from the front, and I'm going to burnish it from the back. And then this is what I like to do. I actually like to take the backing first and then put it back on, just so I know that it's going to come off easily when I do it on my project. Oh, we have Jamie here from Alberta, Canada. Well, welcome. Our neighbors to the north, or mine anyway. All right, so then it just rolls off really nicely. So in this case, it wasn't really an issue getting the transfer tape to stick to the vinyl, but I like to, oh my gosh, my desk is so messy. I have all these little bits everywhere that are just sticking to the transfer tape. So, oh, that one's underneath. Okay. So then I put the backing back on, which some people have said, well, why do you do that? Well, it's just because now I know that the vinyl is going to stick to the transfer tape. So when I go to apply this to my project, I'm not like struggling to get that on. All right, so then I'm going to put this on my project here. And I'm going to use my favorite method, the hinge method. So what I'm going to do is just cut around the design. I'm cutting through the vinyl backing with the transfer tape. And this will allow me to see where I want to put it. So, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll kind of measure. I mean, I'm using the grid on my mat to line up these lines here. And then, I mean, I think that looks good. Yeah, I think I'm going to commit to that. I could actually go in here and measure. It's about an inch from this side. This wood round measures 15 inches across. I was at the hardware store over the weekend, and the ones that I saw there, the smallest one was 17 inches across. So this one's a little bit smaller, but I mean, I still think it looks pretty good. Then what you need is to just put a piece of low tack tape down the middle. So I'll just use this that I was using earlier. And I'm going to cut it. I know some people are like, just rip it. No, I'm gonna cut it. And then you just put that down right across the middle. Then you're going to see, this is where I like to have taken it off the backing, the vinyl off the backing first, just so I know that during this part it's going to come up no problem. Because what I want to do now is, cut this. And I've heard that some people will rip the backing, but I've also heard that if you rip it, it can kind of expose some of the, ooh, okay, don't do that. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. Alright, so that went down fine. Anyway, what I was saying is if you rip the backing off, it can sometimes expose some of the little fuzzies from the paper itself, which could then get stuck either on your project or underneath the vinyl. Okay, so anyway, luckily that went down well, but I'm just going to burnish this side on, and then I can go here and pull this side up, and then pull it up, and then just go over this with nice even pressure, and there we go. Okay, so another tip is when you're painting the wood, and when you're you're going to sand in the direction of the grain, and then I recommend painting in the same direction. So when you go to take out the transfer tape to help avoid getting little wood splinters or paint from chipping off, take everything off in the opposite direction of the grain. So the grain's going this way, I'm going to take everything off this way. And I'm just refreshing my screen again in case we get any more comments, because that's the only way I've really found that I'll be able to see your comments. Oh, Jamie says she does a lot of wood rounds. I know, I've been seeing them everywhere. They're so beautiful. Oops, see that part didn't stick down, so I'm going to stick it down. And then work slowly. Oops, see that part didn't stick down. So I probably should have burnished this a little bit better before I took the transfer tape off. So one thing I am curious about, Jamie, do you seal this? I've seen people do it both ways, and so I wasn't sure if you put a sealer over this. Normally I don't seal anything with 651 on it because it's a permanent vinyl. This would be going on a covered porch anyway, like on my front door, so it wouldn't be exposed to a ton of the elements directly. But I have seen people who have sealed it, so I'm going to try not sealing this one and see what happens. And then I'm just going over it with my finger because I think there's no better burnishing tool for vinyl to really get it into the grooves, getting in the groove, than to use your finger. Okay, then I'm not going to finish this all right now because actually what I'd want to do now is put on a big ribbon and like greenery there. So I made this for a previous project. It's just these floral sprays that I taped together, and then I put the bow on it with some floral wire, and I'm thinking I'll put that on there. And I'm thinking I'll use a staple gun to put it on. I could staple it on, or maybe just hot glue. But anyway, that's what I would do with that. And then as for hanging, I've seen a couple of different things that people have done. They have used rope, like there's this stuff from the craft store, and they use a staple gun to staple a hanger like that. And then I've also seen people use a sawtooth hanger too, which I think I have in here. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. Oh, there's not a sawtooth one in here. But I'm sure there are lots of different, you know, little hanging tools. I kind of like the idea of the staples with the rope, because I think it adds a little bit more like rusticness to it. What do you think? I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But anyway, that is our finished project, my friends. And I think it turned out pretty darn good. I just need to attach this, which I'll do. I think I'm going to use a staple gun. I think that's what I'll do. But then that is it. So I'm going to just flip you around so I can say our final goodbyes. There we go. Hello. It's kind of close. Well, thank you so much for joining in. One more thing I do want to add is we are Memory Keepers, the makers of the foil quill and the singe quill and the glue quill and all our quills. They have opened a shop at So Fancy, and we are running a very special promotion of 10% off their shop with the coupon code. I think it's SF Foil, but as soon as I get off of this live, I'm going to post that link in the description. So 10% off the We Are Memory Keepers shop. You can get some really gorgeous, you know, single line designs for, you know, your foil quill, singe quill, your sketch pens. And then don't forget, of course, today's the last day for 20% off our social distancing collection with the code SOCIALD. So link in the description for that. And then, of course, we use the Fall Farmhouse Bundle. So you can check that out. And if you pick up a bundle during August, you are entered to win a Cameo 4. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me and, you know, helping out with this project. I really appreciate it. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.